Hello everyone. Today I just want to record a quick video for you. It's about a pretty old laptop that I came across with, and a number of features of this kind of caught my attention. And in a way, the nerd inside of me thought that it's cool to share it with you guys. So without further ado, let's just show you the laptop. This is what I'm talking about. This is the HP laptop that I don't even know what the model is. Who cares at this point? It's very old. But I wanted to sort of share some of the aspects of it, and you can judge for yourself like how far we've come when it comes to laptops. This is, for comparison, my new MacBook Pro, and this is the old HP. So first of all, let's look at the ports on this thing. First of all, it's a very heavy laptop, as you can imagine. It's very rock solid and rugged. At the back, you have the VGA port, which used to be useful for some monitors and even TVs. You have the power cable like this, which is not common anymore. We use USB-C or MagSafe. Then there's like a LAN port, or maybe it's a telephone port. Yeah, that's right. It's a telephone port. You could plug in this, uh, telephone cable into this and maybe have internet connection right there. Then there's the lock. And this laptop came with a DVD reader and writer. You can see the RW there. There's two USB ports, which I think must be USB 1. I'm not sure. Two 3.5 millimeter ports, one for microphone and one for the headphones. That's interesting. On the left-hand side, you see there are even more ports. So there are two USB ports. Again, I guess they must be very old in terms of speed and everything. Then there's this LAN port, the vent. There's an HDMI cable or port, and there's like a SATA, SATA, whatever, however you pronounce it. And then there's this one, which I don't even know what it is. It's a very different kind of port. There's like a place for memory if you want to put your memory here, like SD card or something. And at the front, we see that there's like speakers right here and not much else, but there's a button which I will explain. Um, at the bottom of this laptop, underneath, first of all, there's a card holder right here. You can put your card or whatever. There's like a space where you can see that there's like HP 3D drive guard. This allows you to sort of replace the hard drive on this thing. That's right, they did not have SATA, I guess, at that point, or um, better, like maybe they did not have SSD at that point, because it seems like they did have the eSATA. Then there's this area which I think changes, like you can change the RAM of the laptop if you open it. I really like this kind of layout because it allows you to repair these things without having to just upgrade the laptop. This is another port which I don't know what it does, but it's interesting that it's here. There's another port here. I don't know if it's a PCI slot or whatever. And the battery, you can replace the battery. I remember my Asus also had one of these. So first of all, it's locked. But then if you do this, you can take out the battery, you can replace this thing, and so you can also use the laptop without the battery. That's what I did for many years. So anyway, and then you can lock the battery in place. So that's the other side of the laptop. Now, if you want to open it, first of all, you see that this is locked. You have to literally press this button, and now the laptop is unlocked. So right here we have a fingerprint scanner. It says Windows Vista at that point. Intel Centrino 2 inside. And what caught my attention was there's two sets of left click and right click and middle click buttons. So one right here if you're like using your keyboard, and another one next to the trackpad. There's these two pieces that are useful because the laptop literally locks the screen into the body. So that's something they used to do at that point. I think it's kind of tacky if they do it nowadays. You would be surprised to know that there is like a light button. Nowadays you can have all kinds of lights you can install on your screens, but they did have this thing at that point. Now let's turn on this thing. Actually, I have the battery in and the power is connected. So let's press this button. You can see that there is something that's reminiscent of what Apple did with their MacBook at some point. They had like a touch bar at the top. I don't think this is a touch bar, or maybe it is, but you know, it just shows you what things are uh, available. For example, this shows that you can press it and you can connect or disconnect the Wi-Fi. And you can also see similar buttons or information here. It says your hard drive is being utilized. This one says this is powered um, or whatever, and then the Wi-Fi is connected. And if you press this button, the Wi-Fi gets disconnected, and you can also mute or unmute the laptop. So actually, this is a Windows 10 on this laptop. As I reset the entire thing, it does work, and it also has one of these sort of I don't know what they call it. Like Lenovo had this as well. It kind of changes your cursor. Uh, but yeah, overall, I think what caught my attention is that this is how people thought about technology back in the day. They thought the more physical stuff you cram into this thing and the more sort of features you add to it, the more interesting it will become. And that's not how we do it nowadays. For comparison, this is my MacBook Pro keyboard, very simple, very Apple. Um, but here you see that there's a bunch of stuff, and yeah, I think there's pros and cons to it. And by the way, you can see that the light sort of like shines on the screen. And if you don't like it, you can just close the light. It's very old school. I would say it's very tacky, but it's kind of cute in a way because, you know, we don't do these things anymore. And maybe we should, but at the same time, I feel like we've come a long way. So let me close the laptop. When you close it, it has to click. Now we know that the laptop is locked and secure. So the reason I wanted to record this video, of course, was to show you what laptops used to be like in maybe early 2000s or maybe 2010s. And nowadays, everything has changed. So what do you think? Do you think it's for the better, or do you kind of miss some of the features on these older laptops? You can let me know in the comments. So yeah, I'm also very interested to know what laptops or different kinds of technologies will look like in 10 years' time. Maybe one day we will look back at our current, you know, MacBook Pros or iPhones or whatever, and then we get the same feeling about them, and we're like, huh, we used to do that. It was cute, but nowadays we have something different. So yeah, that's it for now. I'll catch you next time.